Hi students, welcome to VerandaRace, and today we are going to study the chapter Adverbs. So let me tell you, before we start Adverb chapter, let me tell you what is an adverb. Basically, a word that qualifies a verb, an adjective and another adverb is known as an adverb. So we'll discuss all these things in detail. So let us move ahead and understand the learning objectives of the session today. We are going to understand the adverbs, types of adverbs, rules related to adverbs, exercises based on adverbs, and we learn 12 high frequency words. High frequency means basically when we talk about frequency of words, there are three frequencies of words. One is high frequency word, one is low frequency word, and one is medium frequency words. Generally in exams, they ask the high frequency words, which are asked multiple times because they are easier to understand and very much applicable in real life situations. Low frequency words are those words which are generally not asked in exam. For example, Schadenfreude or nugatory. These are very low frequency words. Otherwise, lionize or spurt, these are high frequency words. Maudlin. And if you talk about medium frequency words, they can be jettison. So we will definitely understand all these things today, how we identify the frequency of words and how to memorize words. That will be the tip for the day. Although I will be telling you these 12 high frequency words, but today's tip will be how to increase, how to consume more words and increase your vocabulary skills, word power skills. Okay. So let us begin and understand what is an adverb. An adverb is a word that is used to change or qualify the meaning of an adjective, a verb, a clause, another adverb or any other type of word or phrase, and sometimes a whole sentence. So adverb is very important thing to understand, that it qualifies a verb, an adjective, another adverb, sometimes a preposition, sometimes the entire sentence, sometimes a clause, sometimes a phrase. So it is an adverb, a word that qualifies all these things. Let us see and move ahead and let us see examples. He walks slowly. So this word walks is a verb, and how does he walk? The answer is slowly. So it slowly becomes an adverb. It has been italicized. We have made in italics, so you can understand this is an adverb. He walks slowly. How does he walk? He walks slowly. So slowly becomes an adverb. That was a very good movie. So good is an adjective because it is placed before a noun, and very is an adverb because it is placed before an adjective. So how much good? So very good. So adjective is good, and before it is placed, very is placed, which becomes an adverb. He walks very slowly. Slowly is an adverb. Before it, the word has been placed as very, which is again an adverb, qualifies an adverb. So here in these examples we have seen, an adverb qualifies a verb, an adjective and another adverb. Clear? Okay. So it is mentioned over here in the first sentence, slowly modifies the verb walks. In the second sentence, very modifies the adjective good. In the third sentence, very modifies the adverb slowly. Clear? So moving ahead. An adverb can modify a whole sentence as well. An adverb can modify the whole sentence as well. In this case, it stands at a beginning of a sentence. Very important to understand. For example, unfortunately, he could not escape the attack. So this entire sentence has been qualified by, modified by unfortunately. Luckily, he got through the examination. So luckily is an adverb which modifies the entire sentence. Clearly the answer is wrong. So it tells us why or how this particular sentence is relevant. See, the first tip would be, generally we understand that all the adjectives, when they are attached with ly, they become an adverb. For example, fortunate. lucky plus ly becomes an adverb. So fortunately is an adverb, luckily is an adverb. So does it mean every word that has ly at the last become an adverb? Not necessarily. In the next slide I am going to tell you how. So these three examples show that the entire sentence is qualified by luckily, unfortunately and clearly respectively. Moving ahead. So here we have types of adverbs. So before I tell you the types of adverbs, I'm going to perform what I promised. So there are certain words like cowardly, miserly, miserly, I would say, not miserly. Miserably is a word, miserly is a different word. Niggardly. So these words have ly at the last, but these words are adjectives, not adverbs. Adjectives. So when I say he behaves smartly, this sentence is correct because smartly is an adverb. But if I say he behaves cowardly, this is incorrect because cowardly is not an adverb. So we say he behaves in a cowardly manner or he behaves like a coward. So these three words are adjectives, not adverbs. So you have to understand not all words that end with ly are adverbs, sometimes they are adjectives. So that you can understand with a bit of practice, reading skills and all, and with some help of books. So now the types of adverbs. First is adverb of time, which answers the question when. We'll understand all these things later on in the slide itself, PPT itself. Adverb of place, where. Adverb of manner, how. Adverb of frequency, how many times. Adverb of clauses and adverbs of degree. So all these things we are going to understand today. These are the types of adverbs. Moving ahead. So what is an adverb of time? Adverbs that change or qualify the meaning of a sentence by telling us when things happen are defined as adverbs of time. When an action takes place. Example, ago, since, before, yet, today. Yesterday, now, then, already, soon, once, still, early, late, nowadays, etc. All these words, if you observe clearly, all these words which I have underlined, these words tell when the action took place. In these three examples, the newspaper arrives daily. The newspaper arrives when? Daily. When does the newspaper arrive? Daily. They go out to dinner weekly. When do they go out for dinner? Weekly. Our family goes on an outing monthly. These are special words which come into another category as well, adverb of frequency to some extent, but since they answer the question when, they come under adverb of time. Like, he came to my house yesterday. When did he come to your house? Yesterday. So yesterday becomes an adverb of time. Clear? He came to India 3 years ago. When did he come to India? 3 years ago. So ago becomes an adverb of time. Clear? Moving ahead. Adverb of place. What is an adverb of place? Adverbs that change or qualify the meaning of a sentence by telling us where things happen are defined as adverbs of place. Some instructors refer to these words or phrases as spatial adverbs. No matter what they are called, these adverbs always answer one important question, and that is where. Some instructors are there, they have a different outlook towards adverbs, spatial adverbs, but they answer one question, where. That is most important to understand. Moving ahead, and let us see an example and further definitions. An adverb of place always talks about the location where the action is being carried out, the location. Adverbs of place are normally placed after a sentence's object or main verb. This is very important to understand. Adverbs of place are normally placed after a sentence says object or main verb. After the main verb they are placed or after the sentence's object. These are rules. Adverbs of place can be directional, for example, up, down, around, away, north, south. So up and down are adverbs. He came up in the room. The train goes down the streets and all. But up and down are also adjectives. The up train, the down train. This way also we can use. Adverbs of place shall sometimes refer to measurement of distances. Example, nearby, far away, miles apart. These can be sometimes referred to measurement of distances. So let us move ahead. Many adverbs of place indicate movement in a particular direction and end in the letters word or words. For example, toward, forward, backward, homeward, westward, eastwards, onwards and so on. So these are the rules pertaining to adverbs of place. Let us see some examples. Jessica has gone there. So this word there is basically adverb of place. Where has Jessica gone? There. He went northwards or eastwards. This becomes adverb of place. These become adverb of place because they define where the action took place. Clear? Moving ahead. Adverb of manner. Well, adverb of manner describe how an action is being done or how something happens. How an action took place and how something happens is described by adverb of manner. For example, it is possible to walk or run at different speeds, quickly or slowly. So how does he run? He runs quickly. How does he write? He writes slowly. How does he sleep? Soundly. How does he cry? Loudly. So these words, quickly, slowly, loudly, soundly, these are basically adverbs of manner which answer the question how. Clear? So when I told you about adverb of place, I told you that it is placed after the main verb in the sentence. For example, I said he lives there. So lives is the main verb, so there is placed after the main verb. Clear? And in this case, as I told you, this is also happens the same way, but it tells how an action takes place. So it's known as adverb of manner. Manner means how something is done. So it is manner, soundly, quickly, loudly, slowly. These are adverbs of manner. Clear? Moving ahead. What are adverbs of frequency? What is the meaning of frequency? Frequency means how many times, how often. Suppose a friend comes to my house occasionally. So occasionally becomes an adverb of frequency. So how often or how frequently something happens are defined as adverbs of frequency. Those words that change or qualify the meaning of a sentence by telling us how often, how many times a thing is done, how frequently a thing is done is known as adverb of frequency, the word which tells us that. Moving ahead. Okay. An adverb of frequency sounds like an adverb of time. As I told you in the first example itself, he goes to office daily. So it answers the question of adverb of time as well, daily, weekly, monthly. And adverb of frequency also approximately answers the question when. But the difference lies in how many times. Well, adverbs of frequency always describe how often something occurs either in definite or indefinite terms. So it can be occasionally. So you cannot define occasionally, whether it's every month or every 6 months or every 1 year. Occasionally cannot be described as a fixed entity. Fixed entity means definite terms or for that matter. But weekly is a definite thing. That makes the difference, marks the difference between adverb of frequency and adverb of time. So adverb of frequencies can be definite or indefinite. An adverb that describes definite frequency or periodicity is one such as weekly, daily or yearly. That's what I said, which defines the periodicity in terms of definitiveness, definite. So if something is definite in terms of yearly, weekly, monthly, then it's called as adverb of frequency of definite nature. An adverb describing indefinite frequency doesn't specify an exact time. So at the start of this session only, I told you that he goes to temple daily or his father goes for a walk weekly, this way. So all those sentences were confusing because whether they were adverb of frequency or adverb of time, that was a confusion, but that got cleared by saying adverb of frequency can be definite in terms of telling the fixed frequency or definite frequency or periodicity like weekly, daily or yearly. But there are certain adverbs which are indefinite of indefinite frequency. For example, sometimes, often, rarely, hardly, usually, normally, every day, etc. So everyday and daily are generally adverb of frequency because they are I know they are definite, but they are generally considered to be adverb of frequency only. Fine? Adverb of frequency because it's known, it's everyday, right? Okay, moving ahead. Adverbs of frequency are often used to indicate routine or repeated activities, so they are often used with the simple present tense. Okay. Adverb of frequency, when we study tenses, we will discuss. Adverb of frequency is something which we use with simple present tense because it's a part of habitual action. Anything which is habitual is written in simple present. And how does habitual thing can be represented? How can it be represented? By adverb of frequency. My mother goes to temple every Monday. So goes to temple every Monday or daily or often. He often comes home late. So this is adverb of frequency, often. So it's written in simple present. That's what this rule says. If a sentence has only one verb, place the adverb of frequency in the middle of the sentence so that it is positioned after the subject but before the verb. Tom never flies. Adverb of frequency. He always takes the bus. Adverb of frequency. Between the subject and the verb. Between the subject and the verb. For example, he often comes home late. So comes is comes is a simple present verb. He is the subject and often is placed before between he and comes. Like Tom never flies. The subject and the main verb. Clear? Okay. Moving ahead. When a sentence contains more than one verb, place the adverb of frequency before the main verb. When the sentence contains more than one verb, place the adverb of frequency before the main verb. For example, they have often visited Europe. Have visited. Main verb, helping verb, often in between. So it is placed before the main verb. That's the rule. If the sentence contains more than one verb. So when we talk about more than one verb, we talk about helping verb plus main verb. So before the main verb, the adverb of frequency is placed. When using an adverb of frequency in the negatives or in the forming a question, when we use in the negative or forming a question, place it before the main verb. Okay, done. Do you usually get up so late? Get, the main verb. Usually, adverb of frequency. Clear? Do you usually get up so late? Are you seriously interested in studies? This way. Clear? Fine. Moving ahead. What is an adverb of degree? So, degree means to what extent. Degree word means to what extent. An adverb of degree is used to discuss the degree or intensity of an adjective, an action or another adverb. Intensity means to what extent. There are so many adverbs of degree that it's not possible to list them all in one short guide. Okay, fine. Something done in great intensity is known as adverb of degree. So, words like completely, barely, absolutely, deeply, enough, enormously, extremely, fairly, greatly, hardly, incredibly, practically, quite, scarcely, somewhat, terribly, virtually, fairly, fully. All these words are adverbs of degree because they tell to what extent. I am completely delved into writing poetry. This way we can say the adverb of degree. To what extent? Totally destroyed. Absolutely correct. So, these words describe, or which we can say, it is used to define the intensity of an adjective, an action or another adverb. There are so many adverbs of degree which we cannot mention in one single session. So, we will just touch them like almost, absolutely. It is almost done. So, it is almost done means to what degree? Almost. It is almost done. So, these words are adverbs of degree which answer the question to what extent. Moving ahead. So, we have examples, we have great examples. They were almost finished. Those questions were almost finished for that matter. This cake is absolutely wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Our driveway is completely frozen. So, the driveway on which we are going is completely frozen. We felt incredibly lucky after winning tickets to the World Series. Incredibly. Incredible means that we cannot believe it. My teacher is terribly grumpy today. Terribly means, grumpy means irritable. Irritable means very short-tempered. So, terribly grumpy today. An adverb that qualifies a sentence, special forms. For example, luckily, all the passengers escaped from the being hurt. Obviously, there are defects in the proposed system. So, in these two sentences, you can see the two adverbs qualify the sentences. This entire sentence has been qualified by these two adverbs, which are adverbs of degree. Fine? To what extent? Moving ahead. Okay, now we have exercises. We shall solve these questions, and in today's session, when we complete with the exercises and the vocabulary, I'll discuss how to enhance your vocabulary. That's the tip for today. So, moving ahead, and let us discuss the questions. The ministry is very clear that they are not going to do that. Certainly, there is no error in this part. Very clear that they are not going to do that. We are very lucky, or unlucky I should say, because the first question has no error. So, generally students find it very difficult to identify a sentence which has no error, because when it seems to them that there is no error, there is certainly an error. But when they feel like, okay, if the answer is no error, they are trying to find some error in it. So, in this question, we are lucky enough, no error is there. Next question. This is whatever not the first time that Ilaiyaraaja has been involved in a copyright claim battle. Okay. Okay, here it should be however. So, what is the meaning of however? However means, Okay, this is however. So it is for the first time that Raja has been. It is not for the first time. So whatever means any given reason. If we say this is whatever, so whatever means any given reason. But if we say however, it means not for the first time. And okay, how would we describe however in this case? Because however is generally used to denote the contradiction. So if we say I have completed my task, however I am yet to revise it. For example, if we say like that. So however shows certain level of contradiction. So this is however not the first time. So this however word contradicts this not the first time. This is however not the first time. So it means previously also things have happened like that. So this is again not the first time. It has happened earlier. So it's kind of contradiction that it's showing. Okay. So however is the correct answer. Next question. Tomorrow is about putting all the work together and making sure I come back more stronger than ever. Okay, so this structure is wrong. More stronger. Okay, I'll come back to this question if you have any doubts. Because when I say contradiction, however shows contradiction, which means many a time it has taken place. This copyright claim battle. So this once again is again not something new. So kind of contradiction. Fine. So this way we can use however over here. Tomorrow is about putting all the work together and making sure I come back more stronger. More stronger is a wrong structure because stronger is already in the comparative degree. So more will be removed here. So the answer will be tomorrow is about putting all the work together and making sure I come back stronger than ever. So I think if we talk about the same person, see, come back is a verb. Come back is a verb. So it should be more strongly than ever. Please understand this, students. It should be more strongly. More strongly. Because if I say I come back stronger than ever, we are not comparing two people. Since we are comparing two actions, I come back more strongly than I have ever come back earlier. So it should be a comparison in the same person and the two actions coming back earlier and coming back now. So it should be tomorrow is about putting all the work together and making sure I come back more strongly than ever. More strongly than ever means more strongly than I ever came back. So this should be the correct answer. Clear? Moving ahead. Recent imports are most in the form of TSR grade and not RSS. Okay. Okay, this is most has been used over here. So we have to use adverb of degree. Recent imports are mostly. To what extent? Mostly in the form of TSR grade. That's what we have to explain. Not most is not the correct form. Most is used for describing the superlative degree of adjectives or sometimes superlative degree of adverbs as well. But now we are talking about adverb of degree. So recent imports are mostly in the form of, to what degree? Mostly in the form of TSR grade and not RSS. So the error is in part B, it should be mostly. Next, however, my doctor, see again it's showing kind of contradiction. However, whatever the events are, then also. However, my doctor did not give up and put me on a combination of highly potent drugs used in severe drug resistant conditions. So you can see over here, severe drug resistant conditions. Conditions is a noun. So these two adjectives are there, severe and drug resistant. So this is correct. D part has no error. Okay. However, my doctor, no error in first part, did not give up and put me on a, no error in this part. Let's check C. Combination of highly potent drugs. No error is the answer, students. No error. Clear? How do I approach a common error question? I take separate parts separately, and if see if there is any grammatical error in that part. If there is no grammatical error in every part or each part for that matter, I consider it as no error, and answer is 99% correct most of the times. 1% human error is allowed, right? So, more than 2 dozen vehicles parked in frontly of the houses were burnt down. More than 2 dozen, no error in this. Vehicles parked in frontly, so this is incorrect. In front should be the correct answer. In frontly is no word, so the answer is in front. More than 2 dozen vehicles parked in front of houses were burnt. The answer should be in front of. Clear? Moving ahead, students, question number 7. One thing I noticed abroad is that clearly every suburb has a theatre. Okay. See, one thing I noticed, A has no error. This is correct. Abroad is that, no error. It is correct. Clearly every suburb has a theatre. So why are we using clearly over here? It should be almost every suburb. Means it's an adverb of degree which says almost every suburb has a theatre. Almost means to the maximum extent, or we can say at least is the best description of almost. At least every, so we can use over here at least also, or almost is the best answer for that matter. So one thing I noticed abroad is that at least every suburb has a theatre. Almost every suburb has a theatre. Suburb means semi-urban, suburb, not exactly rural but urban, suburban. Okay. It seemed to him at first like a bizarre assignment and challenging too. Challenging too. Okay, it should be TOO because it talks about two things. It seemed to him at first like a bizarre assignment, one thing, and challenging too. Second thing is challenging, so we have to use TOO. TOO over here to define two things. He is sad and depressed too. This way we can use. So two things at the similar time. Okay. The new administration has taken a very strongly view. Strongly view is incorrect. Has taken a very strong view. View because view is a noun. So before a noun we place strong. This should be the correct adjective. We shouldn't use adverb strongly over here. Very strong view on terrorism. Strong view on terrorism. So because before nouns we use adjectives, not adverbs. Before adjective we use adverbs. Before adverbs we use adverbs. After or before verbs we can use adverbs. Clear? Okay. Over a single weekend when we were on holiday together, I got her to learn how to send shortly messages. Okay, it should be short messages. Messages are nouns. Before nouns, adjectives are placed. So short is an adjective, shortly is an adverb. So we cannot place an adverb before a noun. We can place an adverb before an adjective, an adverb or a verb for that matter. Or before a sentence to qualify the sentence. Clear? Basically nouns, basically clauses we place, or the entire sentence we place adverbs to qualify the entire clause or phrase. Clear? Okay, moving ahead. In Rahuri, that were reports of agitators torching a milk container truck on Sunday night. Reports. See, this is plural. So this has to be represented by an adverb, right? In Rahuri, dash were reports of. Okay, we know one thing, that when a sentence is there, for example, this is a kind of sentence clause only, which has complete meaning. So when were or are is used, or is used for that matter, and this verb represents this particular noun, it is kind of inversion of the verb. So here 100% there is used. There are people, there were reports, this way. So do we have there in the option? Yeah, this is the answer. Were will be there and there will be there. THERE, which is an adverb. Okay. So in Rahuri, there were reports of agitators torching a milk container truck on Saturday night. This is the answer. We have discussed earlier also. There was seen a lot of cattle going in, grazing in the field. There were men who were ready to fight and give their lives this way. Okay. Next question. Question number 12. The incident took place in the afternoon when on temperature in the pink city was hovering around 43 degrees Celsius. When on, okay, temperature, 100% on shouldn't be there. 100% on shouldn't be there. The answer can be, the incident took place in the afternoon when temperature in the pink city was hovering around 43 degrees Celsius. So do we have when in the option? Only when? Okay, we have when the temperature. So this will be the correct answer. On is certainly not the answer. Where will not be there because it's talking about the time, the duration or the point of time. The incident took place in the afternoon. So it should be qualified by an adverb of time. So it should be when the temperature in the pink city was. So this will be the correct answer. Where, and this can also, where it will not be used because we are talking about the afternoon. When could have been the answer, but that, this particular that disqualifies this option. So answer will be C. Clear? Okay, moving ahead. Question number 13. Being independent gives one the freedom playing on around and Tokyo. 42 is the product of one such experiment. Okay. Being independent gives one the freedom playing on around, freedom to play around. I think that should be, this is the only option we can see. If the option could have been freedom of playing around, this could have been the one of the answers as well. But see, the problem is, could have given, being independent gives one the freedom playing on. This is not the correct answer because it should have been preceded by article, preposition of kind of. But the freedom to play around, the freedom to play around would be the correct structure over here, because this freedom word is a noun and it should be qualified by an infinitive which sometimes act as an adverb. Clear? So to play will be placed there. Okay, moving ahead. 5 people at a business near Orlando here than fatally shot. Short is a verb. This word qualifies the verb, this adverb. But this short is not complete. It's a verb, short. So it should have a helping verb. Than is not a helping verb. Was fatal, incorrect. Were fatal, incorrect. Were fatally short. So here it should be were fatally short. Were fatally short. Short should be, it's a passive voice, right? They were short, they shot them, they were shot. And this particular adverb of degree, adverb of manner should be placed here. Adverb of manner should be placed here. Were fatally shot by a former employee who later killed himself, the Orange County Sheriff's Department said on Monday. This is adverb of manner. Clear? Moving ahead. As we traveled with Iraqi forces through the Rifai neighborhood last month, evidence of a brutal street fight were over around. See, we are talking about evidence. So, evidence cannot be used with this word were. It should be was. These options eliminated because evidence is considered to be singular entity. So, was should be here. So, evidence of a brutal street fight was over around. Was all around. Was over around. So, this is incorrect. This is correct. Was all around. Around should be qualified by all. So it's like all around. All around means at every place. All around is like at every place. Behaves like an adverb of place all around. So this is the correct answer. Was will be used for evidence, and all around will be kind of an adverb of place. So we can use like this. This is the correct answer. Fine? Okay. Moving ahead. 16. It is not every time that a team which playing exceptionally. Okay. Every time. See, every time is kind of adverb of frequency or adverb of time, every time. So we must use a verb of the simple present. So it is not every time that a team which plays should be here. We have plays in option. Okay, only one option is there. This is the answer. Plays exceptionally, because with every time we should use the adverb, the verb which should be of the simple present, because it's an adverb of frequency every time. So with every time, with adverbs of frequency, we use the verb which is in simple present. Okay. Moving ahead, question number 17. A comparison of the present count with earlier ones. A comparison of the present count with earlier ones shows that there are not much variation in the state's Tahir population. Tahir is kind of animal, like a goat is there. It's there. So with earlier ones shows that there are not much variation. See, we are talking about variation. Variation is singular entity. So when we use like there, if we start a sentence with there, T-H-E-R-E, after this, if it is a singular entity, we use is or was or has. A singular verb is used. So we can see there is written. So here it must be a singular entity. This can be an answer. Other are than that. So there is. So a comparison of the present count with the earliest one shows that there is not much variation. This is the correct answer. Because with there, we must use a singular verb if the object is a singular object. Clear? Moving ahead. Question number 18. The bribe was not paid thorough. Hawala, the CBI said in its FIR. So it should be through, right? Not paid through Hawala. Hawala is a system of paying money, illegal system of paying money from one place to another. If a person is in India and he wants to pay someone in Canada, so he could pay through Hawala in earlier times, but that is an illegal system now. So the bribe was paid through Hawala means system, through it's a medium of paying, or it's a technique of paying. So not thorough. Thorough means completely. So this is incorrect. It should be paid through. Was paid through. Paid through. This is the correct answer. Doing something through a particular technique means with the help of. This is a medium. So it should be through. Not thorough is an adverb. Thorough means completely. Okay. So this is the correct answer. Moving ahead. Question number 19. The relationship the gunman had with his victims was not immediate, clear. See, clear is an adjective. Clear is an adjective, and immediate is also an adjective. So adjective cannot be qualified by an adjective. It must be qualified by an adverb. So which is an adverb? Immediately is an adverb. So immediately clear. We cannot say immediately clearer because we are not using comparative degree. We are not comparing this clarity with another clarity. So we are comparing immediately clear is the correct answer. And we are not comparing. We are using clear is an adjective. So it must be qualified by an adverb which is immediately. Clear? So immediate clearly is incorrect because immediate is an adjective. So it cannot qualify an adverb. Immediately clearing. Clearing is not apt over here. It's irrelevant. So this is the correct answer. D. Moving ahead to question number 20. Delhi's average consumption is only 181 kilowatt hour, and nearly 2/5 of the households consume less than 100 kilowatt hour per month. Delhi's average consumption is only about, okay, wait, let me tell you. Only is correct. It should qualify a preposition, no problem in that, and this is the object of the preposition. So about shows the approximity of something. How much approximately? To won't show the same thing. So was about consumption is only about 181 kilowatt. hour. 181 kilowatt hour is the object of about, the prepositional object, and over here only qualifies it, and about shows the approximately, how much approximately the value is. So this is the correct answer. Moving ahead. Next, okay, we have exercises based on common errors. A decision on the project to convert used PET bottles into raw materials for making the same product again is like to be made in the next 6 to 8 months. Okay, a decision on the project to convert used PET bottles into raw materials for making the same product again is like to be made. It should be likely to be made. Likely means probably to be made. It's probable, perhaps it will be done, probable. Something which is probable should be used with the help of likely, not like. Is like to be made, it's likely to be made. So the error is in the part D, we'll mark the part D as the answer. Error was in part D, it should be likely. Next, the ownership of movie making, no error in this part. The ownership of movie making infrastructure, where the Chinese have a major, no error till B, the Chinese is a plural entity because Chinese is a nationality and the Chinese means the Chinese people. So we'll say the Chinese have a major shareholding is likely to spur Hollywood's pull towards China, no error. Because we are going through parts by parts and we didn't find any error in any part. Clear? Okay, moving ahead. Not only is it discomforting to think of the world in a dystopian mess, but it reeks few strongly of conspiracy theory. I think error is in this part because it sounds absurd. Because I'll tell you why. Because it reeks few strong conspiracy theories. Okay, let me tell you. This off shouldn't be here, and it should be strong, because conspiracy is a noun. Conspiracy theory is a noun. This conspiracy theory is a noun, so it should be preceded by an adjective. So it should be strong conspiracy theory, and this few should be followed by a plural noun. So what the answer should be, not only is it discomforting to think of the world in a dystopian mess, but it reeks few strong conspiracy theories. Now it becomes the correct answer. So answer should be few strong conspiracy theories. Not only is it discomforting to think of the world in a dystopian mess, dystopian means extreme mess, but it reeks few strong conspiracy theories. This is the correct answer. So error was 100% in D, although we made a lot of manipulations in converting this word into a correct structure, but the error was 100% in the part D. That's understood. Okay. Next, clearly we seem to be losing the battle against this foe, seeming deadlier than terrorism. Deadlier, it's an adjective. It should be an adverb. Seemingly deadlier than terrorism. Because seemingly deadlier, seemingly happier, because these words are adjectives, happier, deadlier. So they must be preceded by an adverb. So seeming is not an adverb. So seemingly is an adverb basically. Clear? Seemingly deadlier. Okay. Next, while the contract promises to generate in-house content, they can always say later they don't like it enough to produce it. Okay, let us read it again. While the contract promises, no error, to generate in-house content, no error, they can always say later, comma, they don't like it enough to produce it. No error. No error, students, in this question because none of the parts has an error. I have understood this. Moving ahead, question number 6. Wimmer and Thiel describe their teaching experience in India as although spiritual. Okay, oh my God, although spiritual. Does it mean anything? No. It should be almost or definitely. Both can be used over here. Because the sentence has a sense which says that Wimmer and Thiel describe their teaching experience in India as almost. Adverb of to what extent? Adverb of degree. So almost spiritual is the correct answer. With a tontine, after all, if you live longer than everybody on, you collect more money. See, tontine is a kind of money transaction. People collect money at one place, and one who lives the longest earns the maximum money. So this is the meaning of tontine. So with a tontine, after all, if you live longer than everybody on, this is incorrect, everybody else. Because if you are living longer than everyone, means you are living longer than yourself. But if you say, I am living longer than everyone else, means apart from everyone else, I am the one who is living the longest. So this is the way we should use. With a tontine, after all, if you live longer than everybody else, you collect more money. Everybody else, you are excluding yourself from the group. So everybody else is the correct answer. Okay. Radiation levels just offshore remain bellowing the limit for drinking water set by the World Health Organization. Let us read it once again. Radiation levels just offshore remain bellowing the limit. Okay, the limit. Okay, if we talk about something below the limit, not bellowing. Bellowing is like shouting or roaring. So it should be below the limit. Below the limit. Offshore remain below the limit for drinking water set by the World Health Organization. Just offshore they remain below the level of radiation, below the level of the limit of drinking water set by the World Health Organization. Clear? Okay, moving ahead. Question number 9. However, there has been an improvement in the collection efficiency in February to 89% and the management is confident. Okay, this has an error. There is no meaning of the word confidence. We should use like, and the management is confident about regaining normalcy soon. Error is in part C. No confidence, it should be confident. It's written C-O-N-F-I-D-E-N-T-S. It's an adjective, so cannot be made plural. So it should be confident. Fine. Confident about regaining normalcy soon. Okay, next question. The residency has most attracted actors looking to improve their theatrical techniques along with some young professionals. Attracted is a verb. Attracted actors. So it must be preceded by an adverb. So it should be mostly. It should be mostly. The residency has mostly attracted actors looking to improve their theatrical techniques along with some young professionals. Mostly. Mostly will be the correct answer. Moving ahead. Okay, now we have sentence improvement question, no sentence correction question. Yet while Maharashtra's farmers have caught the attention of the government, the focus on quick fixes has pushed aside the real structural issues before the crisis. Okay, the question says, yet means after all, still we can say, while Maharashtra farmers have caught the attention of the government, the focus on quick fixes has pushed aside. The focus on quick fixes means the quick resolutions. Fixes has pushed aside the real structural issues dash the crisis. So it should be behind the crisis. This is the correct answer because the Maharashtra government has caught the attention of the government, but the focus of quick resolution has pushed aside. The intensity to get the resolution very fast, that has pushed aside the real structural issues behind the crisis. There are certain structural issues which are behind the crisis. So the Maharashtra government has taken that initiative which has pushed aside the structural issues behind the crisis, the real crisis. This should be the correct answer. Okay, moving ahead. Okay, a number of, it's a plural modifier. So it should be a plural noun that must come after it. We say a number of people, a number of students. So a number of locations is fine. This is incorrect. This is incorrect. This is incorrect because locations is plural entity. We say a number of people, a number of students. So a number of locations where there was no sighting of animals this time. So this is the correct answer. Locations where there was no sighting of animals this time. Clear? Okay, moving ahead. See students, what I am trying to do is, with minimum effort, just the use of correct modifiers and the placement of correct words after and before the modifiers, I am able to solve every question. That is what you need to learn, and that's what I am going to tell you in today's tips. But before, let us complete this. The constable on duty responded to the terrorist firing from a nearby opening orchard. Nearby opening orchard. Orchard is a noun. It should be preceded by an adjective. So, only this is an adjective, open. Open orchard. This is also, this may be an answer. This may be an answer. These two may be an answer. These two are incorrect. Because orchard is an adjective, it should be preceded by an orchard is a noun, it should be preceded by an adjective. So adjective is what? Open. So these two can be answers. So the constable on duty responded to the terrorist firing from a nearby. Okay, this is the answer. We are not using remote because it is not contextual to the question. We are talking about the firing from a nearby open orchard. So this is the correct answer. Nearby open orchard. D is the correct answer. Clear? Why? I'll tell you again. Orchard is a noun. It should be preceded by open. Open is an adjective. And then nearby will be there because it's the context of the question. Right? Moving ahead. Question number 14. Denying the allegations, Mr. Sharma said that he was assaulted by a group of students all the same time. Okay, time. See, we have used time over here, same time. So it should be preceded by something which defines the time. So around the same time, about to same time is the absurd option. Over on, about that same time. Okay, we have confusion between these two. These two are probable answers. So around the same time is apt answer, I guess, because around some time, around afternoon, around 10 o'clock. This is used to denote the proximity of a particular event to a particular time, around 10 o'clock, around evening, this way. So around the same time. Clear? Moving ahead, question number 15. This is like to bring down temperatures under the 40 degrees Celsius mark, providing the much needed relief to the city. Okay, in this question you can see it's written this particular event, this particular action is going to bring down the temperatures under the 40 degrees Celsius. So this is going to, probably it is going to reduce the temperature or bring down the temperature. So probably, perhaps and likely. So likely is the correct answer. So do we have an option likely like that? Okay. This is the correct answer. Because this is over here. Had it been these, then the answer could have been there. These are likely. If the word had been these, we could have used are likely as the answer. But since it's this, it should be likely. Likely means probably. So this is likely to bring down temperatures under the 40 degrees Celsius mark, providing the much needed relief to the city. Clear? Okay. Moving ahead. Question number 16. Almost a dozen senior leaders, including several MLAs, are likely to join the party at the presence of the party president. The presence of. Presence of means his coming or his sitting there, his enjoying the party and all. So it should be in the presence of, in. In is the correct preposition that should be used over here, in the presence of. This is the correct answer. Fine, in the presence of. Moving ahead, question number 17. 3 men seeming murdered her 6-month-old daughter near Manesar last month. Okay. Declaredly means what? it was declared. Professedly means they accepted. Speciously means with some evil intentions. Allegedly means they are charged with the crime. They are accused people. This is the correct answer. Because murdered is a verb, it should be preceded by an adverb. Allegedly, here it's a use of words. Allegedly, these all are adverbs. Allegedly means they are accused of the crime. It's not proved, but they are accused of or they are charged with the crime. So allegedly is the correct answer. Fine. Moving ahead, question number 18. It's basically a wafer thin excuse for you to place through multiple scenarios to take out several targets. Okay, it's basically a wafer thin excuse. Wafer thin excuse means does not have value, does not have weight for you to place through multiple, play through. This should be the correct answer. This throw is wrong word used over here. To play through, because to is over here, so it's basically, it should be followed by V1. V1 means first form of verb. So play is over here and play through multiple scenarios to take out several targets. Play through multiple scenarios means to multitask, to do multiple things at a time. So this should be a correct answer. Play through multiple scenarios to take out several targets. It means, the sentence means that you are trying to do multiple things at a time. You are playing through multiple things at a time in order to sort out your different targets. Fine. So play through is the correct answer. Moving ahead, question number 19. He was immediately taken. Okay. Taken is a verb. Was taken is passive voice. So it should be, the main verb should be preceded by an adverb which should be immediately. Immediately taken. Immediately taken. Adverb of time. When was he taken? He was immediately taken. Fine. Moving ahead. Question number 20. The remarks had sparked off opposition from beyond the party. The remarks had sparked off opposition from beyond the party. From within the party. Okay, wait. Let us not complete the answer as this. Let us discuss this. The remarks had sparked off opposition from within. Okay, within is the correct answer because this minister must have made some remarks and these remarks must have sparked off opposition within the same party itself. Within the same party, it must have sparked off some opposition. Clear? Okay, moving ahead. Now it's time to do some vocabulary. So students, please gird up your loins and be ready. We'll do some vocabulary. The first word is maudlin. Maudlin means emotional, over emotional, very sentimental. Maudlin means over emotional and very sentimental. Next is brusque. Brusque means very brief and terse. If you give answers very briefly, concise and very smart answers, short and crisp answers, that is known as brusque. Maudlin means very emotional, over sentimental. Brusque means terse, quick, to the point. Bumptious means arrogant and supercilious. Arrogant means very conceited, very haughty, very full of arrogance. So this is bumptious. It's an adjective. Next is burlesque. Burlesque means a parody or caricature. Suppose there was an old movie in Bollywood and suppose nowadays they make the similar movie with a lot of humorous quality. Then it's known as burlesque. That it's a caricature or a parody for that matter. Next is phlegmatic. Phlegmatic means emotionless, with no emotion on the face. A person with no emotions or showing no emotions on the face is known as a phlegmatic person. I'll repeat for you. Maudlin means over emotional. Brusque means short, crisp, terse, laconic. Bumptious means very arrogant and haughty. Burlesque means caricature or parody, means a spoof of a movie, spoof for that matter. Phlegmatic means emotional. Next is carte blanche. Carte blanche. Carte blanche means the if you are given carte blanche, means you are given full freedom to do anything. Suppose I'm an architect and I have 10 interns. I tell them, do whatever you want, but I want this building to be perfect. So I have given them carte blanche, full freedom to do anything. Next is castigate. Castigate means to scold someone or abominate someone very severely. To scold someone very severely is known as castigate. Next word is rendezvous. Rendezvous. It's written as rendezvous, but its pronunciation is rendezvous. Rendezvous means a meeting, a private meeting with someone is known as a rendezvous. Next is emancipation. Emancipation means liberation or freedom. Emancipation means liberation or freedom. Next is cataclysm. Cataclysm means sudden outburst of emotions or protests. If you make protest or sudden outburst of emotions, if the public is out of emotion, if a public protest and there's a lot of pandemonium, then it's known as cataclysm. Cataclysm means a sudden outburst of emotions, protest and all. Upheaval, upheaval. Okay, I'll repeat. Castigate means severely criticize someone or scold someone. Rendezvous is private meeting with someone. Emancipation is like liberation. Cataclysm is sudden outburst of emotions, generally the protest from public side. Charlatan. Charlatan means a person who is a quack. A fake doctor for that matter. If there is a fake doctor, he is known as a charlatan. He is a quack. He does not know anything about his profession and he is just professing it. He is just performing his activities. So he is a charlatan, fake person, a quack for that matter. Somebody who declares that he knows a lot of things, but actually he is a fake person. Next is chicanery. Chicanery means treachery. Treachery or dishonesty is known as chicanery. So I'll repeat the words for you. Maudlin means over-emotional. Brusque means short, crisp, terse. Bumptious means arrogant. Burlesque means caricature, parody, spoof. Phlegmatic means emotionless. Carte blanche means full freedom. Castigate means scorn badly, severely scorn someone. Rendezvous means meeting. Emancipation is liberation and freedom. Cataclysm is sudden outburst of emotions, generally in the form of protest, public protest. Charlatan is quack or a fake person who did shows of knowledge. And chicanery is dishonesty and treachery. Okay, before I move ahead and end the session, I'd like to tell you, the tip for today is, if you ever want to learn vocabulary, use this method. In your notebook, write down 5 words or 6 words, then see the meaning in whatever app you have or whatever source you have. After that, repeat the cumulative method. This is known as the cumulative method. For example, maudlin. You have learned the meaning of maudlin as over-emotional. Go to the second word, brusque, terse, crisp, short. So then go back to maudlin. Maudlin means over-emotional. Then brusque means short, crisp, terse. Then go to the third word. Understand the meaning of bumptious, arrogant and all. Then self-conceited, supercilious. Then you go to the third word. Then repeat the first word meaning, second word meaning, then the third word meaning. Then go to the fourth word. So this is known as cumulative method of understanding vocabulary. You won't believe, during my exams, when I took the CAT examination, I learned 50 to 100 words per day. And I was successful in memorizing all the words which I targeted. So this is the tip for today. I hope you enjoyed today's session, and let us summarize today's session. Today we did adverbs, types of adverbs, rules related to adverbs, exercises based on adverbs, and 12 high frequency words which I am sure you enjoyed a lot. I hope you enjoyed today's session a lot. Thank you.
ஃபாரின்ல படிச்சாதான் பெரிய ஆளாக முடியும்னு இல்ல, நம்ம ஒரு வெராண்டால படிச்சாலே போதும். VerandaRace வங்கி மற்றும் அரசு தேர்வுகளுக்கான ஆன்லைன் பயிற்சி.